Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment views from the 22 live on the scene YouTube channel. I am Mo Schefter, Vic Jr. in the building, Germ So True in the building. We got a good show planned for y'all today. Don't want to keep y'all too long. Just gonna go over some of the games from yesterday, a little bit of a reaction to some situations that we saw. Talk about the game tonight. Hopefully they saved the best for last. NFC West clash, 3 rounds. You know, it's always interesting when a team plays 3 times in 1 year. And this year, we got that twice. We had the Patriots and the Bills. We saw how that went. And so we'll see how this one goes tonight. While we share the links, let's introduce the crew. Vic Jr., talk to the people. How you feeling?
What's going on, man? Feeling good, you know. It was a cold, icy time here in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
I heard y'all got hit hard there in the Pennsylvania, Ohio area.
Yes, we did.
But
We did.
I just thank God I ain't had to go out there and shovel. Okay. And but other than that, man, everything's been great. Just, you know, it's entertaining last 24 hours.
To say the least, bro. To say the least.
Football is supposed to be fun. Whether you win or lose, it's for entertainment and not to be stressed out, man. Because like, there's too much things to be stressed out about.
I mean, did you happen to notice anybody who seemed to be taking it a little too harshly?
No, I mean, you know, it was right there on national TV for us to see.
Man,
you know, it was quite honestly, man, it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed, and I wasn't even like.
But the one lady looked like she was going through it. Okay, it looked like she had just came home and found her husband of 25 years sleeping with the babysitter. Okay, like she was not in a emotionally well place at the time.
Yeah.
And then the other dude was holding on to his girl like they just lost somebody, bro. This dude was like just I don't know what why he was holding on to her so tight. I don't know what she gonna do for him.
Like the thing is like you know what I'm saying, like, and Micah said it on the shout out to that show, man. I forget the name, but with Chad Johnson, these guys, they went to his home in Dallas for that interview, and the kid is a tremendous he's a tremendous listen, man. Like 21 years old, but he talks like he's a vet of 10 years in this league. Not only that, like a veteran of life, you know what I mean? But he said, like, dude, you don't know what football fandom is until you come to Dallas.
Yeah.
Like football over there in Dallas is incredible. He said one of the only mistakes that he did as a rookie was underestimating people coming up to him as he walked the streets of Dallas freely, thinking that he wasn't going to be noticed. Wow. He was like, I noticed right away I needed some security. You know what I mean? I needed some people to be around me because they would come up to him. And
yeah.
So you could tell yesterday that like that was the peak right there, man. Like that it's like, dude, welcome to first world problems, man. Like I said on your post there, like
yeah,
first world problems right there on national TV, man. Like you know.
I mean, listen, I don't think we can deny the dedication Cowboys fans have to their team, but dude, yesterday was just like this is why nobody really likes y'all. Germ, talk to the people.
Hey man, y'all embarrass yourself every week, and I just sit back and watch y'all do so. I personally myself will tell y'all this was a very interesting turn of events. The game shouldn't have been that close anyway.
Yeah.
So it was Kyle Shanahan and it was Mike McCarthy, and they were pretty much pointing at each other like, you lose the game. No, you lose the game. No, you lose the game. So more than anything for me, I thought the game was closer than it should have been. As we talk about it in general, man, I'm underwhelmed by the performance this weekend so far. I do not think that Number one, I don't think Pittsburgh was deserving of the 7th playoff spot, but when other people don't take care of their business, this is what you get. It's not their fault that they took care of business. It's not their fault that their defense plays their heart out, which they did last night too. They just got hit with an avalanche in the second quarter. I mean, I don't know what you want to do, but there's maybe one or two offenses in the world that can score like that. And you just happen to be playing against one of those juggernauts. As far as the Bucks and the Eagles, I mean, the score is really, really not telling of how dominant of a performance it was on quite a few different levels. And the Bucks still left a lot of points on the field. That's the scariest part of this. We're still leaving points on the field because we're not catching the ball properly. Shouts out to all of the people who can't catch the ball right now. I don't understand what's going on, but catching the ball is essential, receivers. Otherwise, you don't got a job.
Yeah.
But that's that underwhelming day yesterday. The 49ers game shouldn't have been that close, though. And I think that's what we'll talk about first. So, I mean, I'll pass it back.
Let's first talk about, before we talk about what happened during the game, let's talk about what everybody's talking about, Vic. And it's that last play. They had 12 seconds on the clock. Okay, we were watching it together. 12 seconds on the clock. And we kind of were talking about either do a swing, get some more yards, some sort of quick out, or, maybe just start taking your shots to the end zone at that point. You could take 2 shots at that point because they were by the 40-yard line. Instead, they called the quarterback draw. Now, when they called the quarterback draw, there was a WTF moment amongst us. And we were like, okay, well, go outside at least, go out of bounds. He slid. Now, Jerm, you and I talked about this. You got to be perfect if you want to get a spike within 12 seconds. You got to be absolutely perfect. Like, it takes about 14, 15 seconds on average. So if you want to get it to 12 seconds, you got to be absolutely perfect. There's only been a few teams over the years. And I remember the one that sticks out is New England because they did it, but shoot, that's a different beast. Like, you got to be perfect. Everybody's got to understand the assignment. And the problem is that the person who needs to understand the assignment best is the quarterback. And he did not, because he did not understand the process. Like, you got to know the process at that point, okay? If every person watching the game did not know the process, the one person that's got to know the process is the quarterback, and he did not know the process. So it's not the ref's fault. And then the refs are leaving out the tunnel, and they start getting stuff thrown at them. And then Dak, jokingly or not, he said after the game, "Oh, well, credit to them." Like, bruh, it's your fault. Accountability. Yeah. Mike McCarthy. We talked about him, how at some point his coaching was going to cost this team, and so said, so done. So, fellas, let's take it away. Crazy sequence. A lot happened. A lot of bad awareness, bad execution, bad situational football. Take it away, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a terrible call, at least specifically for that play.
It wasn't.
Right, because you saw, like, they got 3 straight completions to the outside, in which the 49ers basically let them march down. And then the 49ers decided that they would literally play the sidelines. Like, there was guys at the sidelines. So they call a draw. That goes up the middle for about a 20-yard gain, which if he would have cut it short about 5 yards, it would have given the ref time to get there, set the ball, because the ref has to touch the ball, and then they could spike it. And, that would have given them at least 1 or 2 seconds to make a throw into the end zone. And like you said, it's situational awareness, man. Situational awareness has to be better by the quarterback and by the coaching staff. If the quarterback is, if you got a young quarterback, quote unquote, if he's still considered that, the coaching has to be better. The coaching has to be better and has to, prepare them for that situation. But like Germ said, man, this game it just felt more dominated by the 49ers, and it should have not been close. And I mean, we have to expect, with the way the Cowboys coach, with the way the Cowboys prepare, with the way the Cowboys game plan, you have to expect the possibility of a loss. A lot of people did not expect them to lose. They expect them to at least get to the second and third round. And I mean, here we are. You got 77 rush yards for that game between your running backs. The Cowboys were 11-0 and 1-4, 11-0 when they ran over for 100 yards and 1-4 when they didn't. Okay. I mean, where's the balance? This West Coast offense, we could go all day long about it. German and I talk about it all the time. The West Coast offense is the philosophy is just dead for me.
Germ.
So I just want to say that last sequence showed me two things. Number one, it showed me that players didn't know the rules, which I don't know how you play a game and don't know the rules. Mm-hmm. The first thing you do when you step to the spades table is you ask, are we playing Joker, Joker, Deuce? Or are we playing Ace High? Are we playing Joker, Deuce, Deuce? Are we Joker, Joker, Deuce, Deuce a diamond, Deuce down? Well, how are we playing? You have to know the rules of the game before you can engage in the game. So if you don't know the rules of the game, or you in this situation you forgot the rules of the game, that right there is another thing that constitutes firing or some type of reprimanding in some type of way, because that's another reason why you lost the game, because the ref had to touch the ball. If that's the case, you needed to hand the ref the ball, let him set the ball, and go from there. Second,
and open a little path for him to get, in the A gap. You feel me? Get in the A, let him hit the A gap, and
he shouldn't be tripping over Dak and the lineman.
Yeah.
Number two, it tells me another thing, that Dak didn't understand the situation properly. He didn't assess the situation properly. Because if we're going to run a draw right here, the goal is to get the first down and get down. I don't have timeouts. I don't have any time to do anything extra. Right. I can't be extra. I have to be efficient and effective in this moment. So efficient and effective means 5 yards, get down, hand the ball, spike it. I have 14 seconds. That means I would have had 5 seconds to potentially throw a game-winning pass, potentially with 5 seconds left, if we done that the right way. Now, 5 seconds may be a stretch. It could have been 3.
It could have been 1. Doesn't matter.
You had a chance.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Right. Regardless, the next play would have taken more than 5 seconds. You know what I mean? So 1 to 5 seconds, like
you gave yourself an opportunity with what you did in that drive, with you getting out of bounds 3 straight plays. Yeah. You gave yourself 14 seconds. That means you had at least 2 plays had you passed the ball. 3 plays if you had an incompletion. You chose to run a draw in that situation. What was it? Listen, you have 3 other downs, and this is the end of the game, and you're on the opposite side of the field now. Bro, that should have been 3 Hail Mary plays, period, if that's the case. Because
you're saying besides the draw, you're throwing it into the end zone. That's 40 yards.
You only have 14 seconds. And that gives you 3 opportunities. And what did I say to you, Mo? What did I say to you?
It gives you 2. It gives you 2.
I said, it's one thing that we have not seen in this entire game, and we seem to be very physical. We haven't seen a pass interference. And what is San Francisco very, 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 very good at? Getting pass interference called on them later in games because they are physical. Physical cornerbacking teams always are susceptible to pass interference. You have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb on your team. What's the purpose of you having that type of talent on the outside and not utilizing it and making sure that you run proper routes or better routes with those players? You got everything you need, bro.
Yeah.
There's no reason why 2nd and 1 from what was it, the 35 or something like that?
Yeah, it looked like
no reason why you ran a draw. It should have been if 3 passes to the end zone, potentially 3 passes you had, or you could have tried to get a little closer.
Regardless, like the fact that they didn't even take 1 shot at the end zone is how that game ended. Yeah. Again, and shout out to Jeff Howman in the comment section. He said when they ran a slot option lateral on the 6th play of the game, I knew the panic exceeded the preparation. That is a fantastic quote there. I knew the panic exceeded the preparation. That's a good way to describe a lot of these football teams, honestly, that end up being underachievers. So and I think no doubt about it, the Cowboys, the one thing they are consistent in is being underachievers.
Not ready, not prepared. It's so many things. And again, we could talk about the last drive, but I mean, like we already established, that game should have been dominated a lot more by the 49ers. Shout out to Jimmy. Nobody want to give my guy Jimmy any credit. I vouch for the guy, but he was outstanding besides that one interception.
Yeah.
He's due for those kind of plays, unfortunately, once or twice a game. But the Cowboys lost that game since the first quarter, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because once
can I say one more thing too, Mo?
Yeah, man.
I want to make sure I say this to y'all Cowboys fans and put this and show y'all the large picture. You had a situation where you got the ball and you did a fake punt and got a first down. Ran to the line with a punt team. Everybody got lined up and took 25 seconds off and then ran your offense out on the field. And then, again, you didn't know the rules because everybody's like, why did it not spike in the ball? Because you get a substitution. Anytime there's a substitution, they have to allow the defense to make a substitution as well. So until the defense has made their full substitution, the ball cannot be set. The 49ers realized rather than running out of a substitution package, they could stay still because the Cowboys were not going to be able to get the playoff. Because who had the ball again? The referee. The referee has to touch the ball. The referee has to let the ball be put down and in play and everything like that. So then you get -5 yards on a first down.
Preparation.
What was that? That's another example of bad coaching, bad awareness by the players, because the players are a part of this, whether y'all want to say it or not. Mike can take 60% of that criticism, but the players take the other 40 because the players in that situation should know, hey, we don't even need to get set. We could have stayed in the huddle and rushed the offense out on the field and let the offense get set. And while the offense is doing their thing and setting up and getting their motion going and everything else, you would have had more time. They needed another 6 seconds to get the playoff, and you wasted 25.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
All across the board.
And all starts at home. Bro, you're at home, bro.
Yeah.
That is equivalent to saying we are so anxious to hit somebody, and then y'all didn't even hit nobody. What in the entire hell what in the blue hell is going on that you got false starts and this many mental errors at home? It was all around bad performance. Dallas, PSA. You're a Dallas Cowboy fan. Start looking for another team until they figure out what they want to be. Because they obviously don't want to be winners. They obviously want to have the best rosters. They want to spend billions of dollars on stadiums. And they want to do all this other glamour and glitz BS that will get them nowhere. Dallas will never win a Super Bowl until Jerry retires from the front office and they figure out the proper head coach for that organization. The proper head coach means everything for that organization.
Yeah.
Period.
I don't think they have the proper head coach.
Mike McCarthy wasn't the proper head coach for Green Bay. He wasn't the proper head coach here. Mike McCarthy is not evolving with the game.
I don't think so either. And that's a great point. And again, hey, shout out to Lester Stewart, man. Yesterday's price is not today's price. All right. Whatever worked then is not going to work now. The game has evolved. So you have to evolve. That's why, if we're being fair, it seemed like the Raiders offense had a little more identity to it when John Gruden left. Why? Because John Gruden was having a hard time evolving to modern day NFL. It happens. Vic, you got a smile on your face like you want to say something slick. Vic?
No, we'll talk. We're gonna talk about it behind the scenes. We'll talk about that behind the scenes.
Okay, all right. Whatever you say, Chief. real quick, as far as Jimmy Garoppolo is concerned, I don't even. Sometimes this dude, yo, it's my brother, but sometimes I worry about him. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
Anyways, you know what? Since he left, we're not gonna talk about his quarterback. What is wrong with you? You are a professional.
The battery, dog. I forgot to plug in the he's stupid, yo. The battery.
All right. Energize.
I'm here. What up?
Talk about Jimmy G real quick, yo. Jimmy G,
yeah.
just real quick, because we're gonna move on.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G, like you said, he played good enough, and he just had that one mistake. Give me a quick evaluation of what you saw from him last night.
Yeah, I mean, this is a situation which is funny because I was gonna kind of talk about, later on when we talk about the matchup with the Packers. I just think that it was a hot weather situation for him. It was in a dome. He seems a little bit more comfortable, but he seemed a lot more prepared. I think it looked like Shanahan had him prepared. He was comfortable with what they wanted to do. They're a very good short area passing team, horizontal routes, and they go off of the running game, especially with Debo. I mean, we could talk about Debo all day long as well. I was saying it yesterday to you guys. I think he's a 99 rating in the next Madden, next season, whatever position you want to put him at.
Right.
He should be a 99. But other than that, Jimmy was great. So the challenge for him now is going to be going to Green Bay.
Sure.
I talked about it for weeks. As soon as I saw Green Bay get that number one spot, it's going to be tough for these NFC teams to go through Green Bay in that cold weather situation for them. So that's where it's going to be the real test for him.
Agreed. Great point. Now, Germ, when you have a quarterback, not any quarterback really, but what does a player like Debo Samuel do for this 49ers offense when they have a quarterback who has to stay within a particular frame in order to execute efficiently?
It just gives him somebody to protect him from himself. Because if Debo is in the game, Debo is a mismatch at all levels. Because if you get him in the backfield, just like I said yesterday when we were watching the game, he has better ball carrier vision than 26 of the top 40 running backs. Like it's a different level of a player when you have a guy who's explosive enough to be able to make a one-cut move and go, but then come out and line up at the X or at the flanker position or in the slot and make everybody around him quiver, because it's going to take more than one player to get him down. But most importantly, on top of him being a violent runner, he's also a very, very underrated route runner.
Right.
So you're fast, you run good to great routes. You have very soft hands, but you have a physical nature to you like a running back. He has an extremely thick lower body. He gets great power coming from the ground up.
Yes.
I mean, that's a guy that you can use in so many ways. And as you've seen, he scored the touchdown that ultimately was the difference in the game. And it was on a running play in which it was a stretch play. His patience, his burst, his acceleration, his vision, everything was all on display in that one play. So he's another level of a player. I'm flattered that I got a chance to scout him and stand on the table for that player, because he gives Jimmy that security blanket that maybe Kittle's can't be, because he can't stay available. And most importantly, that the running game sometimes suffers to do because those guys can't stay available.
Yeah.
As long as he's on, as long as you got 19 on the field, it feels like they have a chance.
100%.
That's some great information right there. Because first and foremost, it just seems like I can't go a week without any Saquon slander. But Debo is essentially what Saquon should be, like that running back with that thick lower body. Because I mean, what's so fascinating about Debo is that thick lower body that looks like a running back. Because Jerm knows that ever since we scouted him, I'm like, Jerm, but this is a running back body, Jerm. Why, this is an excellent receiver with a running back body. And the fact that he's been able to translate that to the league, to the NFL is incredible. The vision, like Jerm talked about, you see how they're using him even in misdirections. cut back lanes and stuff like that when the offensive line is in their zone blocking schemes. Like it's an incredible player, and I mean, so not only as a running but as a receiver too. Like, fascinating player, dude. Fascinating player, and I mean, the Giants need to look in how they gonna use Saquon that way. But we'll keep the Giants out of this conversation.
Nobody want to talk about him right now. As far as Debo is concerned, I think to me, where he brings the most value to this team. I mean, he's going to bring tremendous value to any team because he's a tremendous football player. But where he's most valuable for the San Francisco 49ers, because Jimmy is that quarterback that, like we said, has to work within a particular frame. He's that joker. He's that wild card. He's that superpower. You know what I mean? That you pick up in a video game to make your character extra strong for a temporary period of time. Because when you prepare for San Francisco, because the quarterback isn't within that frame, you are gonna game plan around that frame. But now you insert Debo in there, and it just allows a team that on offense can be very limited. It allows them to expand, and that expansion is just enough for them to be a unique and dynamic and keep a defense off balance type of offense, which is very important. Rapid fire style. We don't got to talk about much about the rest of the other two games from yesterday. They both handled their business. Definitely the Bucs certainly handled their business, and then as well as the Chiefs. But just real quick, just shout out to you, Ben. You were relevant in a time where two quarterbacks absolutely dominated, and you found a way to remain relevant for all these years, 18 years. I mean, top 3, 4 of his generation. Hands down, first ballot Hall of Famer. Vic, anything you want to add before we move on?
No, I mean, those days where he was able to bounce off of people trying to, rush, sack him and stuff like that, was just, he was a different breed. Definitely brought a different facet to the game, even before the Cam Newtons and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, shout out to Ben, man. Like, he represented what the Steelers, what a Steeler was supposed to be. Pittsburgh, all that. We had I had the opportunity with you guys to visit Pittsburgh, and the Steel City was kind of like what Ben represented. So, shout out to him, and may he have a very successful second career.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jeremy, anything you want to add before we move on?
Ben, you are one of the takers that this sport has ever seen at the quarterback position. I applaud you. I respect what you meant to the sport. I just want to say that, and I want to say that proudly because as a guy who, has been in the AFC North division for a long time, Ben was the AFC North.
Yeah. He was.
He owns the state. He owns real estate in the state of Ohio.
Sure does.
It is what it is, bro. You just have to call it what it is, man.
Yep.
I'm proud to be able to say that I've seen a great all-time great quarterback. And I say great and all-time great in the same sentence because when I tell people all the time, the worst thing that you can see is a 12 walk on the field with 1 minute and some change left. But after that, it was seeing Peyton Manning walk on the field and put his thumb up out to Marvin Harrison. But then there was Ben when he comes to the line and he takes those two hands in the shotgun position and he points and identifies.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows what you're doing.
Yep.
And apart.
100%.
Those 3 quarterbacks, those 3, 4 quarterbacks, they're just different. And Ben is one of the takers, even more than Aaron and Peyton ever was. Ben was a taker of football games. You got a Super Bowl winner, 2-time Super Bowl winner. The last one, the Santonio Holmes catch. Only person who was going to catch that ball was Santonio Holmes.
Yeah, that was a tremendous pass.
That was an incredible pass.
And we have a situation where we got to see it. We got to witness it. We got to experience it, the emotions.
For sure.
All of it. And shouts out to him. Thank you for the memories.
Yeah, real quick that you
Hall of Fame.
Real quick that you bring that up, Jerm, about the past. Like, people talk about how those performances weren't great. He wasn't great in that specific game. Listen, and then they talk about how Tom, is not great in certain playoff games. The amount of time, effort, coaching that they had to do to get to that spot, and if their team had to pick them up for one game, what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
What's the problem with that? They helped to get the team there. They were a significant reason why the team is in the Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
So if the team had to pick them up the rest of the way,
hell yeah.
What's the problem?
Hell yeah.
That's the team, right? Y'all want to call it a team sport?
Hell yeah. It's a great point. That's a great point. All right. Big game tonight. Third time around the charm. We will see. They are 1-1 throughout the season. The Arizona Cardinals at 11-6 versus the 12-5 Los Angeles Blue and Yellow Express Rams. Over-under is 49.5. 3.5-point favorites are the Rams, who are at home. They are the hosts. In week 4, when they played, Arizona won that game 37-20. They played in December, fellas. The Rams won that game. Odell Beckham had a touchdown in the red zone that is sort of significant and might be significant in this game because it might repeat itself. For the Cardinals, a little bit of good news, bad news. The bad news, they could not activate DeAndre Hopkins from the IR. They are expecting him to be back for the NFC Championship game if he makes it there. So we will see. James Conner, he's been questionable, at times doubtful, at times basically they thought he wasn't going to play, but he seems to be good to go. Justin Pugh, however, he is going to be a game time decision. And of course, the big news, J.J. Watt, Agent 99, is back. He was supposed to be out for 6 months, fellas. He is back after 13 weeks. Apparently, he's feeling good. He's feeling 100%. We'll talk about the impact he might make in a little bit. As far as the Rams are concerned, on the good news, Leonard Floyd, he's good to go. Darius Williams, he's good to go. And Van Jefferson, it's kind of a game time decision, but they expect him to play. And then safety Taylor Rapp is out, which means that the Rams are going to be without both of their starting safeties. Jordan Fuller was placed on IR. So I think that means Terrell Burgess, Germ, is who gets to start in today's game. But just real quick, fellas, Germ, Vic, which I don't know who's going to jump in first. Neither of these teams are particularly good in the red zone offense. However, the Rams are top 5 as far as red zone defense is concerned. When it comes to discipline and flags, we talk about discipline being a major key. They are on opposite sides of the spectrum, with the advantage going to the Rams. The Rams top 3 in the league in terms of discipline. The Cardinals are bottom 3 in the league in terms of discipline. So you got red zone defense and discipline as an advantage for the Rams. I think that is crucial. Matt Stafford certainly played a better game against them the second time around. We'll talk about what we expect from him as well. Let's just dive into it, Vic. Give me your opening thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first, of course, like you said, because I'm pretty sure Jerm has a little bit more. I don't have much in this game. I think this was the toughest so far. So far, I'm 5-0 in our playoff, picks and stuff like that. Might want to throw that out there. Kind of expected some of the things that has happened so far this weekend. But with this game, this one is a little tough. I'm leaning towards the Rams, to be honest with you guys, but just put it out there. I just think that the Cardinals are kind of limping into the playoffs, kind of like the Patriots were. I don't think Kyler is necessarily ready for this scenario, especially without DeAndre being available to him. My biggest matchup, at least in terms of a one-on-one situation, is going to be Chandler Jones versus Andre Whitworth, left tackle for the Rams.
I love it.
Outstanding left tackle, 40-year-old. We talk about how Brady's over 40 and stuff, doing the things that he does, but Whitworth at left tackle has been incredible for the Rams and that protection, and especially in the run game, how he moves people. So if Chandler Jones cannot have a game where he's getting some pressures, it doesn't always have to be sacks, pressures to change the game, kind of helping in the run game and stuff like that. If Andre kind of dominates that matchup, I think that, it's going to be a tough situation for the Cardinals. Now, like you said, J.J. Watt is coming back for this game. We don't know how many snaps he will get, but I don't see it being a big factor for the most part either. So, again, Chandler Jones versus Andre Whitworth, to me, is going to be the key matchup for the Cardinals, and to see if he can get any pressure on Matt Stafford in that offense.
No, absolutely. I mean, we know what Chandler Jones is. He's a very impactful player. The Cardinals have a few impactful players on that defense, starting with Isaiah Simmons, Budda Baker, even Byron Murphy, even though, we kind of wanted him to be a little better, a little more consistent. He's still certainly a valuable part of this defense. What you got from me on this, Germ?
Well, as y'all see, the notebook is out. So playoff time is where Germ Stragamus is going to be my name for the rest of the season. So we're going to talk about the things that these teams can do to win. To be honest, y'all, Cooper Kupp has 191 targets the entire season. 191 targets. The tight ends and running back groups as a whole, collectively, have 170. So one player has more targets than the entire running back and tight end groups combined. Next, the big thing that I've noticed here is Cooper Kupp and third down is the biggest thing that you have to be able to stop for the Rams. They're not running the ball as much as they should. They're running it more than some of these other teams, but they're still not running it as much as they should. They're under 40% in their play calling when it comes to calling runs right now. They're still a 60-40 at best run to pass ratio, which right now and going into this juncture of the season is not going to go well for them, considering they don't do well against balance. The Rams have two issues. When they play physical teams dominate them at the line of scrimmage. Why? Because Von Miller's not a great run defender, and neither is Aaron Donald. That doesn't mean they're not capable. It just means they're not great at the point of attack. Big players put bodies on them and move them out the way. That's simple. Run at them, not away from them, because these are still quick twitch athletes that can, when you make that slide step in the wrong direction, they can still get around you and make plays. Make sure you're aware of those things. 20 rushes. Now, there are teams that don't lose, like the Buccaneers, when they get 20 rushes, right? 20 plus rush attempts, so between 20 and 30 rush attempts, is a key factor. Now, why is that a key factor? Because at the end of the day, these two teams are small, quick twitch, fast defenses. They may have a couple of big players, but they don't have those guys that are going to be dominant at the point of attack. They got guys that you attack. So I want to see, this is literally the Spider-Man meme. This is the Spider-Man meme. You suck. No, you suck at doing this. No, you suck at doing this. They both have the similar issues. The only difference here today is going to be which quarterback plays better.
Yes.
Kyler, I need you stepping up into the pocket and moving forward in the pocket today. Now, I know you can't see over your linemen, but your linemen are going to have to do a better job of fanning out and pushing the pressure sideways so that they can open up the middle of the field so you can see. Or you're going to have to drop back further, and that puts a lot more onus on your tackles. And that's where Leonard Floyd and both Von Miller will wreak havoc, because the further the quarterback drops back, the harder it is on your tackles. So I need to see Kyler step into the pocket. Offensive line, we got to go just like a Chinese fan and fan out, period, point blank. Completions. This is about ball control. Ball control. Why is ball control important? You don't want 3rd and 10s against either one of these defenses. You don't want 3rd and 12s. I want 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. I want my entire playbook open. Why? Because if I can run and get 4 yards a clip, that guarantees 4th and 1s when I get to the red zone. And when I get to the red zone, I may need 4th downs a couple of times in this game to get over the hump. I need 3rd and 4th and shorts in order for me to feel comfortable here today. Physicality. Who's going to be more physical today? The more physical team in both of the previous matchups have won. Period, point blank. Who's going to show up today and be more physical? And Detroit or LA? To be or not to be? That is Matt Stafford's question. You came from Detroit to LA with the glamour, the glitz, you're blinded by it. Are you going to be blinded by the lights?
Yeah.
Or are you going to exceed expectations and be who you are, who you said you were, that superstar? Shouts out to Lupe Fiasco and shouts out to The Weeknd. But it looks like I don't think that the Rams will make it to next weekend.
Oh.
I am picking the Arizona Cardinals tonight.
Wow.
Give me the Arizona Cardinals tonight. 27-19. 3 interceptions from Matt Stafford. And I think that Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt are going to get after them good tonight. I think the Rams offensive line has regressed during the season. It has slowly but surely regressed this season. And I feel like physical, being good at the point of attack, J.J. is coming back at the right time to help this team. Chase Edmonds is a huge factor because in the first matchup, he was the determining factor because they had no answer for him. He didn't play in the second game. Give me the Cardinals, 27-19.
All right. Vic, before you go, last take, a couple questions, rapid fire style, around the horn. Which quarterback is more important to his team's success, Kyler Murray or Matt Stafford? Vic?
Matt Stafford.
Kyler Murray.
Germ?
Matt Stafford.
Okay. Which pass rush is going to make more of an impact in today's game, Germ?
Give me the Cardinals.
Vic?
Make more of an impact or needs to?
Will make more of an impact.
Rams.
Okay. Which secondary is better suited for the wide receivers coming at him today, Rams or the Cardinals, Germ?
Rams.
Rams.
All right. Just making sure. To me, I think, and I'm gonna toss it to you, Vic. To me personally, I believe the one thing nobody's really talking about in this game, Germ, outstanding breakdown. So I'm not going to piggyback off of nothing. I'm gonna keep it where you left it. But the one thing I want to talk about, coaching. You mentioned, Germ, the third and fourth downs. You mentioned fourth down about 2 or 3 times when you were breaking it down. And I thought it was very important and detail-oriented of you to mention fourth down because both of these coaches are not afraid to go for it on fourth down. And that is going to be a big, big key in this game, especially when they get in the red area. Hey, we're not really good down here. We know they're going to move the ball. How aggressive do we want to be? So that's going to be a very, very interesting chess piece movement going on throughout the 60 minutes. The biggest reason I'm going to give the Rams the advantage in this game, believe it or not, is coaching. I think Sean McVay is has a little more experience, a little more knowledge of how of the ebbs and flows of a playoff game. Like a young team can panic. Oh shit, this is our season. Oh my God, we're down 2 touchdowns. We only have 3 quarters left the whole year to make up for it. So I think there's ebbs and flows in a playoff game that are unique to a playoff game that I think Sean McVay is going to be a little more prepared for. And that small little nuance, that small little nuance should give just enough for the Rams. So I'm taking the Rams. I'm going 33-29 Rams, 33-28. I'm going to go 33-28 Los Angeles Rams. Give me Odell for 5 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I said it. Go ahead, Vic.
No, I mean, like I said, man, it's going to be the Chandler Jones. If him and Whitworth both play 8+ today, I think Whitworth gets he's gonna get the matchup. He's gonna win because he's gonna get the most blocks from the situation. So Matt Stafford for 3 interceptions, I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think it's likely in this game specifically. I just don't think the Cardinals are ready for this kind of matchup. Right. So again, I'm going with the Rams. I guess I'll give a score as well. I'll go 27-21.
Okay. Last point, Eric Weddle. He retired. Eric, the longtime Chargers safety with the beard, who signed with the Rams and he retired. He is back playing for the Rams. He was just chilling. They called like, "Hey man, you bored? All right, who all over there? Oh wait, we got Von Miller now too. Yeah, I'll be right there." So we'll see how it goes. Speaking of Von Miller, like you said, Vic, a huge opportunity for Von Miller to show why the Rams traded for him in this matchup. Mm-hmm. That's the show. We will catch y'all throughout the week. We have listen, I agree with Germ. This weekend was a little underwhelming. Next week, I promise you, as always, the divisional playoffs is as advertised. I can't wait to get into all the matchups. We might even go live tomorrow. So stay tuned. Make sure those notifications are on. I'm Mo Schefter. That's Vic Jr. Germ So True taking us home.
22. Enjoy the game. See y'all next. See y'all. Make sure you have the notifications.